The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Today on BCIT magazine, a North Vancouver coffee shop offers those suffering from mental illness a safe place to work.
A new long-range scanner is allowing researchers to map the world in 3D.
And a BCIT club is making it easier for students to connect outside the classroom.
Hello and welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Rihanna Schmunk.
And I'm Chantal Koskitsa. We're here at the Gateway building where BCIT's 50th anniversary flags are on full display.
And on to our top story, a new cafe in North Vancouver, the first of its kind in BC, is trying to change the stigma surrounding mental health. My co-anchor Chantal Koskitsa visited the cafe to find out more.
It's a typical Monday morning at the Hope Cafe, but for the people who work here, this coffee shop is anything but typical. From anxiety to bipolar disorder, everyone who works here is dealing with a mental illness.
What does mental illness look like? How does mental illness behave? You know, people have a stigmatism attached to all of that. Hopefully we can break that barrier down as a community and as individuals, because what does it look like? It looks like this. You know, I have mental illness, I have an anxiety disorder.
The coffee shop offers employees the chance to gain valuable work experience while in a supportive and caring environment.
If your mental illness can become exacerbated by not wanting to look for a job because you might have a bad day. So I think it's really important. I think it's important for all jobs to be more aware of mental illness and how it affects individuals differently.
At Hope Cafe, employees are scheduled around when they take their medication as well as how long they can work each day.
People labor under that belief that there is no recovery, and that's not true. You know, again, like physical health, there's different kinds of recovery, different stages of recovery. You know, the coffee shop's a demonstration that people can move from illness to wellness.
The coffee shop operates out of the Hope Mental Wellness Centre right here in North Vancouver. The centre offers 26 private rooms for inpatient care, as well as works with UBC on many different research projects and offers a variety of different support groups all under one roof.
As the shop begins to hire more people and the business grows, Joanne hopes that they can start to change the face of mental illness, one cup of coffee at a time. Chantal Koskitsa in North Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
So Chantal, you were saying they're planning to grow their business?
They are. Joanne said they are planning on hiring some more people this week just because there's only 4 people who work at the cafe right now. So the extra bodies will help staff get shifts covered and make sure they get that flexible schedule that they need.
So how much does that mean to those people to be able to have that kind of flexible schedule?
It's definitely very important with some mental illnesses. You don't know how you're going to feel when you wake up on a given day. So for employers to recognize that and accommodate that, it definitely helps out a lot. Our next story, in 2004, Google Maps showed us a new look at the world. And now a Vancouver company is taking that technology into a whole nother dimension.
Absolute Space Engineering has begun marketing a new 3-dimensional scanner that truly displays the futuristic technology that is available today. The VMZ mobile scanner is able to map landscapes over 1 kilometer away with a single stationary placement. The VMZ can also be mounted on top of vehicles, which gives Absolute Space the ability to map out entire cities 3-dimensionally. With most 3D mapping systems using laser scanning technology, it's important to ensure it's safe to use in public places.
The VMZ is equipped with a near-infrared invisible beam, which makes it safe to scan in public when we have concerns with aircraft and runways and places where we have the general public.
Regal Tech engineer Tan Nguyen can set up the scanner on a vehicle in less than 10 minutes. The GPS can map every building and object, even as precise as electrical wires, 3-dimensionally. The coordinates get sent to a computer in real time.
There are different views that I can have it on. This is just a top view. I can have it on I'm going to change view, a chase view, which will give me the outline of the structure.
While moving, the VMU can pick up just under 1 kilometer in landscapes, but stationary, the capabilities are much further, and it's time to put the stationary range to the test.
I want to take 2 scans. One scan, 360 degrees. The range will be out to 400 meters. And then my second scan I'm going to focus on just that bridge. And I'm going to scan it at a very high resolution.
The possibilities for this technology are intriguing to say the least, and Tan Nguyen from Regal Technology believes that it will soon be used to produce a completely 3-dimensional map of the entire world. Kyle Mikichi in North Vancouver, BCIT Magazine.
Well, BCIT is introducing a new bachelor's degree in mining and mineral resource engineering. The program is set to launch in September 2015, and there are currently no other programs in Canada that combine mining, geology, and engineering.
Capilano University is running special workshops to help students think globally while acting locally. Our reporter Daniel Stevens visited the students involved and brings us the story.
I'm having a really busy day so far.
It's an opportunity to run workshops for high school students who want to learn more about being socially conscious by thinking globally and acting locally.
I was up at 5:30 this morning finishing up stuff. It's a little crazy, but I think every day is the most appropriate day. Every day is a perfect opportunity for learning anything, for changing something, even if it's the smallest thing as, you know what, maybe today I'm going to throw my bottled water into the recycling instead of throwing it in the garbage. Or maybe today I'm not going to buy bottled water, I'm going to bring a water bottle. Just the smallest of things I think are the most important. So if we can crash course as much as possible in one day, then we probably have even bigger of an impact, and that's what we're hoping for.
It's called Justice High, and this all-day event at Burn Creek Secondary is an ideal venue for this type of event.
Many of our students are arriving here as refugees with no English, so they're learning English for the first time, but then also they've never gone to school in their countries, let alone here. So a lot of the programs that have developed here and in the community have helped new families settle in this area, and that's part of the goal of the community school, is to try to help families settle and become healthier. It just makes sense for the whole community and for the country.
The event seems to be well received and is already making an impact on these young minds.
And I learned a lot about gender inequality. Also, I've learned how to step up and be a leader.
It's important to not be judgmental, not hold any prejudice, and just know that everyone's unique and they hold a different story.
We wanted to learn about the problems that are happening globally, so we can help
how we
can help
people who need help, who
have mental
our community.
Yeah,
guys, one at
and
a
hopefully
time.
locally.
Because we're leaders
in the community.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys.
I think today has been an awesome success. Everyone seems to be having a great time, and I really think that we've taught something and that people are coming away with something, so that was our goal, and hopefully everyone's thinking globally and acting locally after today.
The next Justice High event will be held at Carson Graham Secondary in North Vancouver on February 28th. Daniel Stevens in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
For some BCIT students, making connections outside of the classroom can be difficult. And while there are some networking events, they can be a little formal. Our reporter Shannon Waters found a club that's doing things a little bit differently.
This is not your average networking event.
It's kind of like a fundraiser, kind of like an awareness console party. And it's just to let people know about BitMan and that we actually exist.
BitMan, or Business Information Technology Management, is a specialized program at BCIT's business school. And they're trying to provide more opportunities for students from different programs to get to know each other.
Outside of the program, it's a little bit harder because it's so specialized. It's a little bit harder to make new friends outside of our program.
This gaming party is the first one BitMan has hosted, and there's plenty to do.
We have a lot of Mario stuff going on. We have Super Smash Bros. We have Mario Kart. We also have a Rock Band station.
Bonding over video games instead of business cards has its advantages.
I think it's a really nice icebreaker. It's not quite as formal and intense as some of the other industry business networking events we go to. This is a lot sort of more up our alley.
I've met lots of people in different programs that I haven't had the chance to meet before.
The hope is that there will be more events like this in future.
I hope that other clubs host more events like this. I really hope to see a lot more and attend a lot more of these sort of more informal, casual, fun get-togethers.
I think down the road it will gain more popularity.
Shannon Waters in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up next on BCIT Magazine, people across the country fight homelessness in a very Canadian fashion.
And fitness trackers, they count the calories you burn, but are they worth the hefty price tag?
I was looking for a course with that included public relations, and BCIT came up saying that they had this Legion Military Skills Conversion Program, which takes your military experience and converts it into credits. So I was very interested with that because there's not a lot of schools that offer that. I was an armoured crewman, so I was with the Lord Strathcona's Horse Royal Canadian Regiment based out of Edmonton. The courses that I received credit for was based on all my leadership skills.
Right now I'm still a member for the Seaforth Highlanders of Canada. I'm currently serving as a unit recruiter. In my case, they took my managerial and leadership experience and they translated it into an advanced placement into the Human Resources Management program. It's a great feeling that they're actually going to give me the credit for all that time towards my goal of getting a degree, getting into business, and carrying on with the rest of my life.
A defining moment for me was when I finished my first internship and got lots of really great feedback from industry professionals.
I would have never imagined I'd be walking into the floors of TSN and thinking, I'm not a student anymore, I'm here to work.
I will be starting a job with an investigative news program in Toronto, and I'm really excited to see that grow into what will become, hopefully, my dream job.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, putting you to work.
So, Valentine's Day is coming up. You got a date?
I got someone in mind. What about you?
Ah, me too.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Victoria.
Hey. So, you know what you're going to be doing?
I think I'm gonna take her for a nice walk on the seawall and then warm her up with a hot chocolate from Vancouver's Hot Chocolate Festival. It ends on the 14th and there's like 24 participating chocolate makers, so I think it'll be pretty good.
Cool, man.
Why? What are you gonna do?
I was thinking of taking my date to the aquarium. They're having a sleepover there. 3-course meal, wine, some romantic games. Tickets are $400 though.
Well, in that case, maybe I'll take my date to the Valentine's Day Gala on Grouse Mountain. It was a 5-course dinner and not a bad view either. Can't do better than that.
Interesting. So who's the girl? Victoria.
What?
Well, for those of you who don't already have something in mind, you should be aware that Valentine's Day is just around the corner.
And for those of you who don't want to deal with making a reservation or pay the bill for an expensive meal out, cooking your dinner is a good option.
Our reporter Victoria Levy is at the Dirty Apron Cooking School to bring us a few dinner ideas.
Well, I'm down here at the Dirty Apron Cooking School, located in the heart of downtown Vancouver, and I'm joined by chef and owner David Robertson. David, thanks for being on BCIT Magazine.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me.
So Valentine's Day is coming up, and a great option instead of going out is staying in and cooking food for your significant other. And today you're going to be showing us
Halibut. People love halibut. It's nice, it's light. I'll let you just season that up, a little pepper there.
All right.
That's excellent. And then I'll just add a little salt to the top of it as well. We're going to use a high heat oil. We want a grapeseed oil. And you can almost start to see a little bit, see that shimmer come off of that? That's where we want to be. That's the kind of heat we're looking for. And what's going to happen is as the halibut starts to cook here, the milk solids are starting to caramelize underneath.
So we don't flip it yet, even though it might be tempting to...
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone wants to flip it right now. They're like, let's flip it over. You know, no. This is the best way to cook it.
Okay.
We're going to put that in the oven.
What's next?
Here we're going to do kind of a style of just crushed fingerling potatoes. So what I'm going to get you to do, Victoria, is just push that in, add a little salt and pepper to that. Yeah, you get a little force there. There
gosh,
you
I need
go.
some muscle. Okay.
I'm going to add a little salt and pepper to that, and then we're going to add some fresh herbs to that. Our chives and our parsley. So with these, doing your best to slice the chives nice and thinly. Chives are not something you randomly chop. And then what I have here, we can do this together actually. Okay. Just tear the little leaves of the Italian flat leaf parsley. And we don't want to use the stem here because the stem can be a little bit chewy and get stuck between the person's teeth when eating.
And that's not good on a Valentine's Day date, is it?
No, it's not. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to just simply serve a little spinach with this today. You know, earlier we were doing the halibut high heat. We want to stay away from that. And you can always put a little butter, never hurt, right?
Butter makes the batter better, right?
That's it. And then just allow the residual heat of the pan to just simply cook the spinach, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. So now let's go get our halibut out of the oven. It's ready to go. So now what I'm gonna do, being very, very careful, flip this over. Look at this beautiful, beautiful golden brown crust.
Oh, wow. So now it's all about presentation.
Yes, as I put a little of the sauce just down. You don't have to put all that potato because that's for two, but about half of that, and you can just put that into the mold.
Oh, into the mold, okay.
Yeah, into the mold, and then we'll flatten that down. And now in goes our spinach.
Oh, and it's nice and not overcooked, which
That's
is
right.
sometimes
See?
my problem with spinach.
It still has that life to it. And this is where we can take our halibut and put that over top. So we have this little base, and then we can kind of take that away so we get this beautiful sort of nice look. And
Wow, it looks amazing. So can I give it a try?
yeah, let's go for it.
All right, and just
crack
it.
right through it. Look at that.
Whoa.
Okay.
And
Get a
do you want to
nice
get
piece of the
everything in
halibut.
there?
Oh yeah. There we go. Nice, moist, good fish.
That's great. All right, well, back to you guys. This is David Robertson. We're down at the Dirty Apron Cooking School, and here's a great tip for your Valentine's Day dinner.
Thanks for that, Victoria. That definitely looks delicious. Well, it turns out that toques can do a lot more than keep a few Canadians warm. The Toque Tuesday campaign encourages Canadians to buy toques and socks to help raise money to find a long-term fix for homelessness. As my co-anchor Anna Schmunk explains, a few locals found a way to get involved and have a little fun at the same time. In Surrey, a public street hockey tournament was held outside City Hall to support the fundraiser, with teams from all around the community coming together to play a little puck for a good cause.
It's so stressful nowadays, and there's subjects are spoken about in a very serious tone, and I wanted to change it up. I wanted to do something Canadian, but I also wanted to do something that the homeless themselves could be involved in.
The toques and socks being sold nearby were a big hit, and volunteers say the increased awareness is a huge step in the right direction.
Fitness trackers that you wear on your wrist are getting more and more popular, and some even go as far as to track your sleep patterns. But as Alicia Randauer finds out, some critics are wondering whether or not they're going to live up to the hype.
From the second you leave your house in the morning to the end of the day, you take a lot of steps and probably end up burning a lot of calories, maybe more than you think. For 3 months, Stacey Dennison used a fitness tracker to log all those moves and sync the data with her phone to get personalized diet and exercise tips. But now she's not so sure that that was a good idea.
I ate something badly and I would be discouraged. Like I would feel bad and unless you're someone that the guilt kind of motivates you more, it can kind of be a deterrent. Like it could make you feel bad and then be like, ooh, I just want to stop. I don't want to see it anymore.
Stacey says the device's app reminds you to drink and eat better and keep active, but she doesn't think it's worth the money.
I think it's a good way for companies to make money off of you. Unless you're a really determined person, a really focused person, a lot of people are just going to get tired of it. I did.
Experts don't think you need to use the tracker for very long either.
I don't know that we encourage people to wear them forever. We feel that they are good for a certain amount of time while people are trying to achieve certain goals. But once you are into a routine of being active and you understand how much activity is needed on a weekly basis, you tend not to need it.
And as for all that personal information stored on the apps,
there's some workplaces in the United States that are using these kind of trackers as tools. If their employees meet a certain number of step counts a week, then they're offered different incentives, a discount on their insurance rates, things like that. But yeah, so do you want your employers to have that information or not? I guess is up to you.
it seems like having another app that knows a lot about your life may not be for everybody. Alicia Randauer in Richmond for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up next on BCIT Magazine, we preview the Canada Winter Games in Prince George.
And we introduce you to some local athletes as they gear up for competition.
The most rewarding thing for me has been the relationships I developed in the program, both with instructors and classmates.
My sense of confidence has never been higher. I mean, this program's offered great opportunities to be in real world, real industry situations, and being in those moments and knowing I can contribute, I can do this.
It's exciting to be in this industry and to meet lots of great people and to make amazing friends.
BCIT broadcast and online journalism, realizing your potential.
Standby graphics, ready camera one.
If you want to experience the fast-paced world of news,
Today on BCIT Magazine, striking.
make magic on a movie set,
Frame.
and action, or bring your creative ideas to life, BCIT's hands-on training will get you started. BCIT Television and Video Production. Your possibilities start here.
Welcome back to the show. Well, for the last 2 weeks in February, BCIT is partnering up with BS Sport and the Canada Games organization to bring coverage of this year's Canada Winter Games.
A team of broadcasting students is heading up to Prince George for the duration of their games, and all of their work will air on Canada Games TV.
But before we head up north, some of our reporters met with local athletes who are preparing to represent our province on the national stage.
Zach Singer met with some skiers who are having a little bit of trouble preparing due to lack of snow on some local mountains.
Please steady yourselves, everyone, as we enter the dump. We may hit the bumpers on the...
As you rise hundreds of meters above sea level in the dead of winter, the last thing you'd expect to see when you get to the top of the mountain is this. And for these athletes preparing for the Canada Winter Games, the lack of snow could affect their gold medal dreams.
Well, as you can see, there's no snow. We were here for, I think, a couple days. We didn't really ski. We didn't train gates, but we skied around. There's just not much snow here.
I'm up here on Grouse Mountain, just below the peak, and this is the snowpack. As you can see, it's been a little bit difficult for these athletes to train here. So they've had to go elsewhere like Whistler and Sun Peaks Resort to prepare for the games.
Yes, it'd be nice to train at Grouse, but there's many other resorts open, and my coach has found other mountains we can train on. Just the experience on a different mountain, different resort is more versatile.
I think for some athletes it would have been a damper, but I think these ladies are pretty good at knowing how to make use of what they got. So when we go away on trips, it's even downtime, they're stretching, they're focusing on everything about racing. So no, we've definitely used this as an advantage.
Shabuya, shabuya, roll call.
With just days left before the games begin, the excitement is building.
I'm very excited to go compete at the Canada Winter Games. It's been my dream, and I'm really excited to see where I place against the rest of the girls in Canada.
Now the only thing left for these three best friends and teammates is to get ready to compete against each other.
Yeah, but my birthday's not on Sunday. So? Then it was.
Zach Singer in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
For our next story, Robin Batchelor caught up with two friends and teammates who will be representing BC in short track speed skating.
In 2 weeks, Amy Cave and Maria Kim will be heading north to compete at the Canada Winter Games in Prince George. The high school students will be racing as teammates representing British Columbia in short track speed skating.
We go to the same school too, so we're pretty close friends, and it's just like really fun to experience this with her.
I think I was happier than she was when I found out that she was going, because she's always been there and supporting me. Even when I have bad races, she's always there telling me just forget about it and keep skating and doing my race.
Although there are more than a few differences between the two, Coach Louise McLaren says they share a passion for the sport.
It's all about making small gains, one step after another, and hanging in there to get to your goal. So both of these girls have done that, and we're just really proud of what they've accomplished.
While Maria has been speed skating for much of her life, it wasn't until the 2010 Winter Olympics that Amy was inspired to take up the sport.
I started a lot later than most of the other skaters, so my speed wasn't as bad, but my technique was a lot worse.
She had a really easy transition to speed skating, so she caught up really fast.
Seeing the pair's hard work pay off has also been rewarding for their coach.
Kids can set a goal and you see them work towards what they want to get, and there they are, they got it. That's why you do it.
In 2 weeks' time, Amy and Maria will be pushing off for Prince George to compete on the national stage. Robin Batchelor in Coquitlam for BCIT Magazine.
This year, Trampoline Gymnastics will be making its debut at the Games. Our reporter Victoria Levy spoke with a trampolinist from New Westminster to talk about the sport and his journey to the Games.
Kyle Carragher is reaching new heights every day. In just a few weeks, he'll be competing for Team BC at the Canada Winter Games.
It's like this is the first time that it's going to be in the Winter Games, so I'm really excited.
Trampoline gymnastics is a lesser-known sport, usually done in the summer.
It's exciting for people that don't know much about the sport, just because the level that they jump at is so high, and they don't expect people to be twisting and flipping the way that they are.
Carragher credits his coach for how far he's come.
Ever since I've came here, he's helped me get to a point of where I've just been like super positive almost all the time that I come to training, and I love coming here all the time, and he's just actually, like, he's helped me get a lot better as well.
He's been putting in long hours prepping for the games.
They're pretty committed. I mean, it doesn't get much more committed than what they do. They train 5 days a week, and they have personal trainers.
Physical training is only the half of it.
So before competitions, I get a little bit, sometimes I can get really nervous. So I just make sure that like I'm being as healthy as I possibly can. And of course I do a lot of visualization.
It's an emotional journey for everyone involved.
You experience a lot of emotion in such a short period of time. You're so proud of them always, regardless of how it goes, because it's hard to do what they do.
And it's this positive outlook that the team hopes will serve them well at the Games. Victoria Levy in New Westminster for BCIT Magazine.
And also worth mentioning are some competitors who are among BC's medal hopefuls for the coming weeks.
Jordan Bellery from North Vancouver will be hitting the ice with BC's hockey team, and he's actually the younger brother of Matt Bellery, who currently plays for the Vancouver Giants.
And figure skater Olivia Grand, the Kelowna native, has had a strong season, winning multiple competitions across the province.
For full coverage of the games, you can check us out online at cgtvtoday.ca or follow us on Twitter at viasportbc.
And we wish all of our competitors good luck during the games.
If you have any questions or comments regarding this program, please visit us online at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitbroadcastnews.ca. I'm Chantal Koskitsa.
And I'm Rihanna Schmunk, and that's this week's edition of BCIT Magazine from the Gateway Building on the Burnaby campus.
Thanks for watching.